It's time to take control of the narrative and delete racial inequality in the workplace.
My name is Rick Lacaille. I'm the Global CIO at State Street Global Advisors. We manage over $3 trillion in assets for clients. And I'm here today to welcome Reboot with Super BAMEs. It's an initiative that allows us to hear from successful ethnic minorities in the corporate world. And we're sharing these stories to control the narrative, but also to alter perceptions and really to delete any possibility of racial inequality in the workplace. And today, it's my honor to introduce Rob Walker, who's with us today. And he's our Super BAME from State Street Global Advisors. Now, Rob, given your remarkable achievements, can you tell us about your journey and also tell us a little bit about who you are?
Thanks, Rick. So I'm Robert Walker. I'm a managing director here and global co-head of the asset stewardship team at State Street Global Advisors. I was previously a sell-side analyst for 10 years. I think the key part of my journey is recognizing that no is not necessarily an answer, and working closely with my clients to deliver value in all of my different careers. I am the son of an immigrant. My parents came from the Caribbean. I'm married with a 3-year-old daughter, and I live in Hackney.
Rob, what inherent practices exist in society today that reinforce racism or systemic discrimination, particularly in the workplace, and ultimately hindering progress of ethnic minorities in the workplace?
Yeah, I think this is a societal issue that's clearly reflected in the workforce rate. The 2017 McGregor-Smith review, which looks at race in the workforce, I think makes this point aptly, which is that BAME individuals struggle to participate through the workforce from entry level to board level compared to their white counterparts. And this is something that I've experienced as well in my own career, typically being the only BAME person in the room in meetings. And so I do think that we need to recognize that there's a cultural element to this. I think that companies need to kind of look at their culture. I do think that corporate culture is around creating shared values for the majority, but those shared values may not always recognize difference. And so that can exclude minority groups. But the rewards for creating inclusive companies is huge. And we all know that there's a lot more research now highlighting the power of inclusiveness for companies. In fact, the McGregor-Smith review itself says that if BAME individuals were able to fully utilize their potential across industries, you would create 24 billion in new economic opportunity. That's 1.3% of GDP. So I think the economic opportunities of inclusive companies is huge.
That is an amazing opportunity, Rob, but maybe getting more specific, what are the 2 or 3 actions that we should be taking? And I think as both society, but particularly within the asset management industry, what are the 2 or 3 things we should be doing now?
I think focusing on demographics, so finding that talent wherever it is. So as I've mentioned previously, there's a lot more research now highlighting the power of diversity. So definitely looking for that talent and finding it will enable companies to tap into that. And I do think that that State Street is taking a number of positive steps in that area. So I think the kind of 10-step action plan, which is looking across everything we do and how we can tackle racism and inequality is a significant achievement. I mean, I'm not going to go through all the action steps, but just to name a couple, focusing on diversity at the board level, looking at diversity within senior management, for example, are clearly areas where if we can take action, that's going to have a significant impact.
Rob, you are a super BAME and a role model. I'm sure you get asked this question a lot. But what advice would you give for professionals from ethnic minority backgrounds? And just as importantly, what about the next generation? What sort of advice could you give them?
Yeah, I think I think the first thing is don't be afraid to seek out mentors wherever you find them. I think there's a lot of people that want to help, but maybe don't feel that they can take that first step. So I think sometimes asking for someone above you in a senior position to give you advice or to be honest is a good first step. I also think that you need to champion your success in the workplace. Often people do a good job and then they kind of wait for someone to come and tell them they've done a good job. That doesn't typically happen. I think you need to make sure that you are talking about your success, whether that's with senior leaders or even just your own manager during your appraisal. And in order for that to be effective, you need to track and record your successes. So don't be afraid to record where you've done a good job, so that when you do have that opportunity to showcase that, you're able to do that in an effective way. And then finally, and this is I think the most important, particularly for the next generation, is you've got to invest in your own development. You are responsible for your career. Don't be afraid to ask for training or to be put on development courses if you feel that your pathway's being blocked, or that maybe I need to develop myself to get that next job opportunity. Don't be afraid to invest in yourself. And I think that the advantage is that, yes, you can help yourself to find the opportunities, but also build your brand and network, because often when you do these courses or you get training, you're going to meet people that are similar to yourself or maybe even senior that can help you on that journey.
Thanks, Rob, for sharing your personal experiences and your professional experiences as a super BAME. And I'm very proud to be able to introduce you, because I think you have a huge impact in your role, not just at SSGA, but in your role as Asset Stewardship Co-Head. You make an impact outside as well. And I'm very proud to have been able to support you as an ally in your career. And I hope we can continue to work well together, and we can benefit from that experience. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Rick.
It's time to reboot, with superhero Black, Asian and minority ethnic professionals redefining the corporate world.